Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicolas Debeffe, and I'm working for LU-CIX, which is the Internet Exchange Point in Luxembourg. During this presentation, my colleague, Fokko Dijksterhuis, will talk about what exactly is an Information Sharing and Analysis Center, most commonly called an ISAC. Then he will give a few words about the setup of cooperation between information sharing communities at European level, an initiative on which he is currently working. And finally, Fokko will also elaborate on the support of Europe regarding PISAX. After his presentation, I will introduce the Pizzax initiative, which aims at creating an information sharing community for Internet exchange points. By the way, by the end of the presentation, there will be a Q&A round, so feel free to drop your questions within the chat. So, Fokko, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Nicolas, for that introduction, and indeed, thank you all for having us and me as well, particularly here, to contribute to this session today. Indeed, I am here from my role within the Empowering EU ISACS project, which it is called. I will explain a little bit more of what this project entails and how it relates to the PISAX initiative. Because as you can see here, what we want to talk about today is, of course, cybersecurity and information sharing in the IXP community. So, Empowering EU ISACS. It was at the beginning of last year when the European Commission launched this project. It was, back then it was called the establishment of a core service platform cooperation mechanism for information sharing and analysis centers. Quite a mouthful indeed. So we trimmed it down to Empowering EU ISACS, because that is basically what it is about. Nicolas already said an ISAC is an information sharing and analysis center. And this project, well, it was initiated to both mobilize new ISAC initiative in sectors where there was no such initiative as of yet. And it was also initiated to help with increasing the maturity of the already existing European information sharing and analysis centers. It was back in 2020 when the Capgemini-led consortium of, well, amongst others, Intrasoft, TNO, JFN, CERT, and Spark Legal won this call, and we are currently executing this project for the European Commission, which we of course do in very close alignment and cooperation with ENISA, the European Agency for Cybersecurity. So, I have already mentioned the word ISAC and Information Sharing and Analysis Center a couple of times now, but I think it's important to indeed start at the very beginning. What exactly is this concept and why is it of importance also to you? Basically, an Information Sharing and Analysis Center is developed by stakeholders within a community, for example, a sector or an industry, who are exposed to similar cybersecurity threats and issues. A number of organizations within that sector come together to actually share information and to also develop services that will help them increase the cyber resilience of this sector. Now, there are numerous ways and a diverse range of activities which can be undertaken to actually achieve this goal, to indeed increase the cyber maturity and resilience of these members. And a couple of them will be mentioned as well. Now, why are these European ISACs important? First off, of course, cybersecurity resilience is, and it definitely should be, a top priority. We've seen the cyber incident steadily increasing over the last years, months even so, and it should be on top of everybody's agenda by now. And of course, when we're talking about the cyber realm, country borders are of very little relevance. For a cyber criminal, there's no such thing as a border, which also means that international cooperation to actually combat these challenges needs to be on top of the agenda as well, and is of very much importance. An ISAC, an information sharing and analysis, is a perfect vehicle and basically an operating model to facilitate this kind of collaboration. So on the right side, you can see that generally speaking, there are three kinds of models for ISACS. They tend to be geographically oriented, for example, for a specific country, or sector or industry oriented, or thematic oriented, for example, on operational technology. The ISACS, when we're talking about ISACS in this project, we mention the ones who are on an EU level operating and who are sector or industry focused. For example, the already existing financial ISAC, the maritime ISAC, the European energy ISAC, or the European railway ISAC, but of course also the European IXP community ISAC, which is PISAX. So joining an ISAC, it has many advantages for the individual organizations and the entire sector alike. You can think of receiving alerts and notifications about incidents that are happening, having in-depth discussions with peers and experts on confidential topics, sharing best practices, but also networking, community building with each other. But regarding this analysis activities, it's about co-organizing activities, which means you can also bundle resources. And all this cooperation, of course, leads to increased sector-wide situational awareness. Also, tools and products can be developed, which can be used by all the organizations alike. These are a number of the advantages and benefits of information sharing and analysis centers, which are also mentioned on the right side by Inisa. When we're talking about the Empowering EU ISACS project, which has been running for over a year now, it's good to stress a couple of things. Basically, we tend to facilitate and support a number of sectors, of which the IXP community is one. You can see indeed that, for example, the financial sector, the water sector, the maritime, and so on are also being supported. And we do so in a number of ways, of which one is, for example, also organizing sessions for these communities to also increase collaboration between these individual ISACs. We've organized a number of thematic conferences and a large-scale sessions where a large proportion of the members of ISACs were participating. As you can see on the right side, some specific examples are mentioned for the facilitation we undertake. For the European maritime sector, we help them with establishing a new ISAC initiative, for example. With the European Railway, it's more focused on establishing an IT platform to facilitate information sharing. And with European Energy ISAC, it's more related on the so-called soft support, where we have organizational support. So it's all kinds of activities we undertake, and this is also how we tend to support and facilitate the PISAX initiative as well. And I think that's the main important point we would like to stress from our point of view, from our Empowering EU ISACS project, that indeed the European Commission and our consortium strongly encourage the PISAX initiative, and we look forward to supporting its future endeavors. So if you would like to know more about our project, you can contact me or us via the contact on the right side, or you can visit our website. But for now, I would like to give the floor back to Nicolas for the remainder of this presentation.
Yes, thank you, Fokko. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about PISAX. What exactly is PISAX? PISAX stands for Pan-European Information Sharing and Analysis for Internet Exchange Point and GPRS roaming exchanges. It's a CEF Telecom funding program co-financed by the European Union. What exactly is the objective of PISAX? The objective is to create a Pan-European Information Sharing and Analysis Center, most commonly called an ISAC, in order to support Internet Exchange Point and GPRS roaming exchanges. In other words, we want to put in place an automated and secure threat intelligence sharing system for those two communities, by laying the basis of a collaboration hub that will help them to enhance their cybersecurity posture. Because yes, against all the current threat, we are definitively stronger together, and access to information is crucial. What is the strategy for building the ISAC? We want to gather IXPs and JRX communities around a reference threat intelligence platform. The chosen platform is MISP, which originally stands for Malware Information Sharing Platform, and which has been recently rebranded as MISP Threat Sharing, more global. We have created instances of this MISP platform for both communities. Who is behind Pizzax initiative? We have Post-Luxembourg, LU-CIX, and Security Made in LU. What is Post-Luxembourg? Post-Luxembourg is the national historical telecom operator, but Post has also an important background in cybersecurity, with the Post Cyber Force dedicated teams, which delivers managed security services, perform pen test, SOC and CSIRT activities, and telecom security services. But Post has also been for a long time an important contributor to the MISP threat sharing platform. And what is the most interesting for us in the context of PISAX is that Post is member of the GSM Alliance and also an active contributor to the information sharing and analysis GSMA groups. In the context of PISAX, the main role of Post is to strengthen an existing ISAC JRX community and also enhance the platform automation. What is LU-CIX? As already said, LU-CIX is the Internet Exchange Point in Luxembourg, but LU-CIX is also a member of Euro-IX. In the context of PISAX, the main role of LU-CIX is to coordinate the PISAX project. I'm currently the PISAX project coordinator, and also to build this new IXP information sharing community. LU-CIX is also supporting LUNOC, which stands for Luxembourg Network Operator Group, which is technical discussion group. And besides these technical activities, LU-CIX has also some promotional activities with the Luxembourg Internet Days, which is an annual conference dedicated to network security, cloud security, and crisis management. Last but not least, LU-CIX also operates the National DDoS Scrubbing Center, which is a crisis security measure meant to mitigate high bandwidth volumetric DDoS attacks. What is Security Made in LU? Security Made in LU is a brand, and under this brand, we have three main pillars. The most important pillar is Circle.lu, the Computer Incident Response Center in Luxembourg. This guy leads the MISP development since 2011 and operate multiple sharing platforms in different sectors. In the context of PISAX, they have helped in the PISAX platform deployment, and they will ensure PISAX sustainability after the CEF grant, which will end in August 2021. Second pillar, Cases.lu, which delivers cybersecurity awareness, and develop and support Monarch, which is a risk management platform and methodology. Finally, the C3 pillar, Cybersecurity Competence Center Luxembourg, under which we can find Room 42, which is a cyber attack scenario simulation dedicated to training of incident response teams. Now, let's talk a little bit about the PISAX platform. How can I join the PISAX community? Well, it's simple. By accessing the PISAX platform, which is available for free for Internet Exchange Points. The PISAX platform is currently accessible via a publicly exposed web interface, and you can find the link in the presentation, https://misp.pisax.org. Under this link, you will have a self-registration feature in order for you to request an account. And during the self-registration account process, please reference the Internet Exchange Point to which you belong within the command form. It's easier for us in order to grant you the access. What's currently in the PISAX platform? Currently, we have mainly information about vulnerabilities related to IXP assets, router, switches, vulnerabilities on IXP network protocol, BGP, VXLAN, EVPN, etc. And also vulnerabilities on IXP software like Routinator, Bird, etc. We have also injected some indicators of compromise focused on IXP potential threats, like the recent SolarWinds issue with Sunbird, Teardrop, and Raindrop. What else can we find in this platform? Well, to my opinion, threat information that we can find in log correlators or SIM events, or in your IDS events, or honeypot if you have ones. If you have any other ideas of interesting things to put within the platform, please discuss this topic in the Euro-IX Pizzax mailing list that you can find in the following email address, pizzax@lists.euroix.net. And you can subscribe to this mailing list on the following link. Yeah, and what can you find? What else can you find? I would say everything that you, the community, can bring within the platform. And for that, we definitively count on you. And it's the end of my presentation, and we can switch to the question and answer round. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicolas and Fokko. That was a very interesting presentation. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. I have one question from Alexei, and he says, in Finland, we've got about a dozen national ISAC groups for different industries. Finnish IXPs take part in the ISAC generally meant for internet service providers. Should our national ISACs be representatives to EU ISACs and PISAX?
Well, yeah, I don't know if Fokko is still in the call, because I think it's a question for him.
Sorry, Fokko, did you?
I am. No worries. Let's see. That's a very good and interesting question indeed. It differs really per country how internally within these member states ISACs are shaped. So indeed, I can imagine in some countries, for example, the Netherlands, but also in Finland, there are numerous ISACs already active. It really depends on the EU ISACs themselves on how they organize this participation. At times, you indeed see that the representatives from the national ISACs are the direct participants in the EU ISAC. But with other ISACs, we have also seen that it can be the actual participants from, the organizations themselves, which can also partake in the EU ISAC. So I guess that is also a question in a certain way to you, Nicolas. If you consider, for example, a chair of a national ISAC to be a good participant in the PISAX initiative, or whether it should be, roles and participants from the individual organizations within these countries.
Well, within PISAX, we accept every organization that is related to the IXP community through Europe. I think we can also extend a little bit outside Europe. I think that in the domain of information sharing, the more the community is big, the best it would be in order to protect ourselves and to enhance our security posture. So I think it's always a good idea.
Yeah, so I also think with the way that PISAX has been designed, that it would make sense, because the information sharing also takes place on a very operational level, that the technical information is shared between the participants, that it would make sense that not only representatives from national ISACs, but also the underlying organizations would be able to partake. But it was a good question, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexei. So we've got a few minutes, and actually I have a question, and that is a couple of weeks ago, Malcolm Hussey from Links gave us a presentation which talked about the NIS2 directive, which also covers cybersecurity. I was wondering, is there any links between NIS2 and the PISAX project?
Yeah, I think the idea of NIS2 or NIS directive is currently to establish some communication and some discussion between CSIRT, but also from local entities, and also to develop this communication about everything that is related to information security, threat intelligence, etc. So I think definitively it's in the idea of the NIS directive.
Thank you. And actually, one more question. So, who decides on, or who identifies the different vulnerabilities, and who from the IXPs do you think should really be involved in this?
Regarding vulnerabilities, yeah, we currently inject vulnerabilities within the platform. From our side, currently it's manual. We have also an idea to automate this process and to base this injection process on the IXPDB, for instance, where we can find information about different assets that are currently managed by EXPs. So yeah, currently the process is manual. That's why it's important also to build this community and to enhance this community. And really, I would appreciate if as much as possible, person from the IXP connect to the platform and create an account on the platform, visit the website, and also subscribe to the mailing list, so we can discuss also on different enhancements that we can do within the platform. Because yeah, we have, as it was stated during the presentation, we have Circle, which leads the development of MISP. So these guys are capable to develop things. They have developed some modules like passive DNS, for instance, or CVE module in order to extract CVE records. So there is really room for improvement within the platform. And what would be really great is that while growing this community, we come with new needs, and we make this platform evolve in a sense, technically, but also organizationally.
Thanks, Nicolas. One last, and I think this is maybe more of a comment or something for you to think about. How about using the peering DB for accounts to log into the Pizzax website? So I think that's.
You mean yeah, using peering DB as a single sign-on or something like that in order to log? Yeah, why not? It has to be analyzed. I suppose if peering DB is supporting standard SSO protocols like I don't know, SAML or OpenID, we can eventually have a look at a way to interface this platform and try to externalize the authentication to the peering DB. Yeah, why not?
Thanks, Nicolas. Okay, so with that, I would like to thank Nicolas and Fokko for your time and the presentation and sharing the information about the Bisex project. So thank you.
Thank you, Bijal.
Thank you for having us.